Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 film Immaculate, and this is directed by Michael Mohan and stars Sydney Sweeney and Alvaro Morte. This tells the story of a young nun who becomes part of an Italian convent, but things soon start to take a turn for the worst. Now, I got to be honest guys, I went into this film thinking it was going to be something totally different. I did not read any plot synopses, I did not watch any trailers for Immaculate, admittedly. I kind of thought this was going to be another paranormal movie that we get every single week. Maybe because I watched The Nun 2 last year and I had that in mind. Kind of had the same look about it, but that was certainly not the case. And once Sydney Sweeney's character, Cecilia, enters this convent, we already know as a viewer that something isn't quite right because of the dark opening scene. But as she's walking around this place being introduced to these over-friendly people and stuff, the movie kind of hints that there's so much more mystery surrounding this place. There's kind of a dark aurora surrounding it, and there's a real giallo flavour to this movie, I feel. And there are lots of side characters here that you just question the legitimacy of. You know that looking into their eyes that they are up to something. There's a dark background about them. And I think the movie unravels itself very nicely, to be honest. It just pulls back all them layers to reveal the dark secrets within this convent and within these characters. I think the movie is nicely paced with its storytelling there. I gotta say, Sydney Sweeney, who plays Sister Cecilia here, she was a character I really got invested in from the off because she's this real innocent looking girl. I think Sydney Sweeney can pull that off nicely from what I've seen her in. But you know she's making a bad decision here. She's about to dedicate her whole life to this convent and she's so excited to be there. But even characters in the movie are advising her not to because she's got all her life ahead of her and stuff. But she is assured that she's on the right path because she thinks God has sort of spoke to her and told her to go to this place. And I was just like, oh, please don't do this. So I think she's done a job there with me getting fully invested in her from the off. I mean, I'm not fully on the Sydney Sweeney hype train just yet. I know she's a real rising star. She's been in a couple of movies now, a couple of big movies, box office hits. And here she takes the leading role nicely. You know, nothing over the top amazing, but she done a job, put it that way. However, there is a moment later on in the movie where she has to scream in a little bit of an elongated scene, like a one-shot moment that goes on for a minute or two, and she really felt like someone was putting a knife through her back there because, oh my god, she really knew how to scream down the cameraman, and it looks so real. I think she pulled that off perfectly, and it made me think, wow, she's got a place in horror, and I hope to see her in more horror movies for sure. However, guys, after all this mystery and intrigue and wonder of what is going on with this place, something happens just before the start of the third act in this film, and I was like, holy shit. And it actually didn't stop for that, and the movie is just ramped up to 100, and it became a little bit of a subgenre that I care for more than the religious horror that we're given for the first hour, and I was definitely along for the ride. Now guys, this is really hard to go into without going into too many spoilers, but all I'm going to say is I appreciated the difference of the character of Cecilia in that third act. I liked the way it shook it up a little bit and went down some different directions with her. So, like I said, man, it's all in that third act. However, guys, for the first hour of this film, I do feel there was a very generic feel to it. And I feel like I'm saying this with 1 in every 3 modern horror movies I review, but the big problem here is the jump scares. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be shitting on jump scares because I do like them when they are effective. Smile from a couple of years ago, there was one jump scare in that movie that really got me, and I actually frightened the person next to me. I jumped that much. When they are done like that, I can appreciate it. I like to be scared. And there's 1 or 2 in here that did actually get me a little bit. But there's about 5 overall, 5 or 6 in that first hour, and the majority of them just don't work. They are just heightened sound effects for something that you can just see coming a mile off. And I don't know if this is a studio thing or a directional choice, but how can so many directors keep doing these cheap jump scares and them just not working? Has anyone not thought to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and think outside the box here and do it this way. It does feel like studio interference. I could be totally wrong there, but it's like, oh no, we've got to give the teenagers something to jump about. And there was also a few dream sequences thrown in, and I absolutely can't stand dream sequences unless there's a real purpose to them towards the story, or if it's in a Nightmare on Elm Street series. But yeah, they just felt like filler to me in this film. Also, while the design of this place is pretty cool, religious surroundings, like I said at the start of the video, they're just not my thing, you know. I just get a dull feeling from them. No offense to any religious people out there, but that's just what I see on screen. And it is not helped by how dark this movie is. I appreciate dark feeling movies when they are going for the scare factor and stuff, but this is just a pitch black screen with something blurry in the middle, and it happens quite a few times. And I just don't think that is a visually good looking movie to watch. I really wish they were a bit more professional with the lighting in this film, because there are some damn dark moments here. I gotta say, guys, the final scene will not work for everyone. I think you're either gonna hate it or love it, and I've got to be honest. Considering how much I loved the third act, I don't think it ended all that well for me personally, and I was just left scratching my head at the movie, going, "What was the point in that journey there?" Like, I enjoyed a lot of it, but I just felt an emptiness at the end of the movie, and I was like, "Really? What was that long journey with all the mystery and stuff all for, really?" However, guys, I've got to be honest, this movie did turn out a little bit better than I expected. I did not have high hopes for Immaculate, but it kind of surprised me. Not in an over amazing way, but it felt a little bit different at times, especially for the last half an hour. Okay, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Immaculate a 6.5 out of 10. Really interesting to see rising star Sydney Sweeney take the main role in this. I do wonder if she's going to become a little bit of a scream queen now. Okay, guys, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. And the fun fact for Immaculate is that Sydney Sweeney actually auditioned for this film in 2014, but the film never came to light. And a few years later, she got everyone back together, the producers, the writers, funded the film, and sold it on. And here is Immaculate on the big screen finally. Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want more 2024 horror movie reviews, there'll be no link down below. What did you think of Immaculate? You know, are you like me, a little bit surprised, or do you think this movie was trash? Let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you all, I promise. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video.